You ever have that moment where you think everything's going great with a woman? She's all over you, laughing, texting first, showing interest without hesitation. And for a while, you feel like you've got her. No games, no confusion. But then, it shifts. She starts taking longer to reply. The tone changes. She's colder, less playful, and you're left wondering what the hell happened. The mistake most men make here is thinking they did something wrong. But it's not about what you did, it's about what you stopped doing. You stopped being the man who pulled her in energetically. In the beginning, you were calm, centered, probably a little indifferent. You weren't trying to impress her, you were just being. And she felt that. She felt the space in you, the quiet tension, the emotional distance that made her lean in. But then you started adapting. You started reacting to her energy. You let her moods dictate yours. You stopped being the anchor and became the mirror. That's when attraction fades, not because you weren't enough, but because you lost your polarity. You see, women don't want to lead the emotional tone. They want to feel it from you. And if you let her set the emotional frequency, you're no longer the grounded masculine energy she was drawn to in the first place. That initial magnetism was never about your words or what you did for her, it was about your stillness, your edge, your control of self. The second you let her energy shape yours, you lost that edge. And once a woman feels like she knows exactly how you'll respond, exactly how you'll act, she checks out emotionally. To keep her invested, you have to stay rooted in your frame. Let her adjust to you, not the other way around. Matching her energy might feel like the right thing to do in the moment, but it quietly kills attraction. When she's excited, you get excited. When she's stressed, you lean in and try to match her emotion to connect. But here's the truth. Most men never realize your power as a man is in your contrast, not your similarity. You're not supposed to ride the emotional wave. With her, you're supposed to be the shoreline it crashes against. If she's spinning out, emotional, throwing tests or drama your way, and you meet that with more energy, more reaction, you're feeding the chaos. But when you remain grounded, calm, and emotionally unaffected, something powerful happens. She recalibrates, she tunes into you instead. That's what leadership looks like in an emotional dynamic. You don't overpower her, you don't silence her, you just don't get pulled into her storm. Women subconsciously test to see where your emotional breaking point is. They want to feel that no matter what they throw your way, you won't lose. Composure, because if you can't hold it together when she gets emotional, how will you handle real-life pressure? That's the test behind the test. And most guys fail it. They argue, explain, try to prove themselves. But the men she remembers, the ones she chases, stay neutral. They don't fight the storm, they become the eye of it. You want her to lean in, you want her to see you as different. Then stop meeting her where she's at emotionally. Instead, hold your ground and let her come to you. Let her energy shift to match yours. That subtle control is what separates the man she forgets from the one she can't stop thinking about. Most men think connection is built by going deep emotionally, sharing stories, being vulnerable, and getting personal fast. And while that might create a sense of closeness, it rarely creates desire. What keeps a woman invested isn't how much she knows about you, it's how much she still wants to figure out. Playfulness creates that dynamic. Lightness, energy, a sense that being around you is an escape from the heaviness of life, not another place where she has to carry emotional weight. The moment a man starts treating every conversation like a therapy session, something shifts. It feels forced, predictable, draining. And what started as interest begins to feel like obligation. That's why being playful, even in serious moments, it is powerful. It doesn't mean you avoid depth forever. It means you control when and how it happens. You don't let her pull you into emotional mud every time she opens the door. If she says something heavy, you don't have to fix it. You don't have to match it. You smile. You redirect. You float above it, not because you don't care, but because you're protecting the energy. That ability to stay in the light, to keep things fluid and mysterious, makes her feel safe in a completely different way. It shows her you're not controlled by emotion, that you choose where your attention goes. And when a woman sees that, she becomes more emotionally open without you even asking. Because now, you're not another man trying to bond by unloading feelings. You're the escape, the refreshing energy, the playful, unpredictable presence she wants to be around without even knowing why. That's where obsession begins, not in depth, but in lightness. Not in what's said, but in how you make her feel. Most men respond to a woman with logic. She brings a problem, and he brings a solution. She vents, and he offers advice. But what he doesn't realize is she's not asking for answers. She's asking to feel. When a woman speaks, she's not always looking for you to solve anything. She wants to be heard, felt, and emotionally met. If you keep replying with strategies, she'll slowly feel disconnected, like you just don't get it. What works better is energy. A pause, a smirk, a playful that's wild instead of a 5-point breakdown. Because what she's really looking for is a feeling of safety and connection, not a plan. This is where most guys miss the mark. They think being logical makes them strong. But the real strength is emotional control. Being able to hold space without flinching. to absorb her emotional charge without trying to neutralize it. When you do that, she relaxes, she softens. Because now she knows you're not just a man who can think, you're a man who can feel without losing control. And how you speak matters too. Most men talk fast. It's unconscious. It comes from wanting to be liked, accepted, validated. But when you slow your speech by even 15 to 20%, everything changes. Your words carry weight. Your presence expands. She leans in. That slower pace says, I'm not here to impress you. I'm already sure of who I am. And that confidence expressed, not in volume, but in stillness, is what pulls her closer. You don't have to chase the moment. You are the moment. Speak with intention, respond with energy, and let her feel you more than she hears you. That's the move most men never master. There will always come a moment where she tries to pull you into her emotional world, whether it's through drama, tears, accusations, or subtle tests. She's not doing it to hurt you, she's doing it to see if you can hold her without collapsing. It's not about winning the argument or proving your point. It's about being unmoved, being still, being the emotional rock in the middle of her storm. Most men get pulled in. They react, defend, raise their voice, or try to fix the situation. And in doing so, they fall straight into the trap. Because the moment you get emotional with her, she no longer feels safe. You've stepped off your throne and into the chaos with her. That's when she loses respect, even if she can't explain why. Your power lies in staying above it. Not distant, not cold, but neutral. Grounded, unshakable. You let her feel, you let her express, but you don't match her chaos. You don't try to fix it. You just stay. And she feels that strength more than any words you could ever say. But even beyond that, there's another truth. Attraction dies when you become predictable. If she can read you like a book, if your rhythm is always the same, if your energy never surprises her, she starts to drift. Not because you're not good enough, but because the mystery is gone. Obsession lives in uncertainty. In those subtle shifts, pauses, pullbacks, and moments where she feels slightly off balance with you. You keep her leaning in when she never fully knows where she stands. Not through games, but through presence and polarity. And above all, don't take her words at face value. Learn to feel her energy, her tone, her body, her vibe will tell you everything. Speak less, sense more. Stay above it all.